souls from all walks of life have come. 50 intrepid souls from all walks of life have come to Moab, Utah to earn the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to climb the highest mountain on earth. They must test themselves and each other as they face the challenges of the desert, after which half the field will go home. 24 will face the Rocky Mountains, where cold, ice, and altitude determine the next round of elimination. And then, the moment of truth, as 12 will be selected to continue on this epic journey. Today, Moab's rock, river, and sand, and the Rocky Mountains' bitter cold and altitude. Next week, the Kalahari's scorching sun, followed by Costa Rica's heat and humidity. Then Iceland's Arctic winter will determine which 5 will ultimately have the opportunity to climb Mount Everest. Global Extremes begins outside of Moab, Utah, where 50 men and women from a wide range of backgrounds and careers have gathered to win a once-in-a-lifetime shot to stand on top of the world.
I want you to fully understand that this is an incredibly dangerous undertaking that you're about to take on. We're not there to try and see how fast, how quickly, how energetically we can get to the summit. We're there to have a safe and successful expedition. This is going to be really the ultimate challenge that you'll have in your life.
As one of our 4 expert judges, Bryce's experience is legendary, having been the expedition leader of 13 successful ascents of Everest. Kathy Sasson, one of the world's top adventure racers, her stamina and determination have led many winning teams. Hans Ray is a mountain bike champion. His skills and showmanship have made him a global two-wheel ambassador. At home in polar regions, Eric Phillips is the only person to have skied across the world's 4 largest ice caps. The expert judges will consider athletic ability and team skills in selecting the 12 athletes that will continue around the world. First stop, the Kalahari. The athletes will not only face unrelenting sun and endless sand, but the burden of eliminating one of their own. Then the canopy of Costa Rica's lush rainforest will render the stifling humidity inescapable. Slick jungle trails will help determine which 2 will not continue. Then Iceland's vastness will introduce the participants to severe cold and wind. Their challenge will not only be survival, but harnessing these elements. 4 will be eliminated. Mount Everest, the ultimate goal in adventure. 5 will have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to stand on top of the world. The Toyota 4Runner will travel with the athletes as they test themselves across the globe. The rambling capillaries of the Colorado River have created the ideal venue for the first event of Global Extremes, a multi-stage adventure race. Out of the starting gate, the racers will first face the frigid 50-degree Colorado River. Upon reaching the far bank, the saturated athletes set off on a trail run, navigating through ankle-twisting scree as they seek their way among the cliffside debris. The course then takes them back across the river downstream, where they must resist the force of Class 3 rapids. On the other side, the teams face a bouldering field. Here they must display strength and solidarity in getting all members on top through a combined effort. Up next is a precarious trail run that not only tests endurance, but also balance and control. Then, as legs and lungs are seeking respite, a transition zone signals that yet another lap of the course beckons. 50 complete strangers will now see if they are up to the Global Extremes Challenge. The judges have named the 10 teams after the world's 8,000-meter peaks. First to start is K2. They must determine their entry point as the river's swift current can unwittingly carry them downstream in a flash. Trouble immediately arises.
The thing that concerns me most is the swim. The water's cold, the air temperature is going to be even colder. And I have a history of getting hypothermic in cold water swims.
Jim's concerns are warranted. The icy waters quickly engulf him as he struggles to reach the opposite shore. However, Team K2 stands by their man and coaxes Jim to safe passage to the other side.
Stretch out, come on.
Many steps down the line, I have obviously some concerns about attempting Mount Everest. People get injured and killed doing that, but I'd like to think that good preparation and good judgment would hold me in good stead. Since my teen years, I've completed 70 marathons, including the Pikes Peak Marathon 11 times. That starts at 8,500 feet and finishes at over 14,000 feet. I've run the Leadville 100, but I didn't learn how to swim until I was 40. That's when I decided to try the Ironman triathlon, which requires 2.5-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a 26-mile run. I'm 61 now and kind of the quiet old guy, but I have years of experience at endurance events and mountaineering, and I'm not your average old guy.
Bolstered by the support of his team members, Jim now faces the rest of the course with more confidence. Annapurna crosses the river seemingly in good stead, but their navigation skills quickly come into question as they lose the trail in the rocks. Doug Evans does his best to keep his team on track.
Where's it pointing? It's going this way, then we gotta go this way. Yeah.
I don't have any fear in climbing Mount Everest. I just see what's before me and I just feel motivated. I feel the opportunity to really challenge and test myself. I think the only fear that I have maybe is the fear of not being given the opportunity, if that's what you want to call a fear.
Not all of the inhabitants of Utah's Red Cliffs are intimidated by the steep slopes, including Team Dalagary, which has cohesively come together right from the start.
Banana Loco. Sponsored by bananas. Remember, put a banana sticker on my forehead, and she said, well, if this can stay on your forehead throughout the race, we'll have good luck and we'll make it back safely. I will be now known as the crazy banana guy on national TV. Oh, well, you have to sacrifice for your team.
Czechoslovakian-born 24-year-old Pavel Trkala lives in Washington, D.C., but his real passion is exploring the high country on his mountain bike. Pavel's travels have taken him to 5 continents and 58 countries. He also rode and filmed his ride across the Rockies in order to apply for Global Extremes. Team Lhotse receives a final briefing from Kathy Sasson.
When you pick up your PFDs, you pick up all your stuff, wetsuits, everything, and you take everything with you for the rest of the course. You're not allowed to leave anything else here. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Were you listening?
Yes.
What I'm looking for is a quality that I would choose in one of my own teammates. And when I choose my own teammates, I want to know that the commitment that they make means the same thing to them as a commitment that I make.
Will it take more than a lucky sticker for Pavel and his team to maintain their pace? Can Jim survive another bone-chilling river crossing? Find out when Global Extremes returns. Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure on ABC Sports. Brought to you by the all-new Forerunner. Larger, more powerful, more capable. Expedia.com. Don't just travel, travel right. And John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. 50 years ago, a humble beekeeper and a Sherpa set out to fulfill a dream, to stand on top of the world. The global extremist hoping to climb Everest must not only display ability, but teamwork to reach the summit. Marine Eric Kapitulik knows teamwork is critical.
Some of the same leadership things that I've learned in the military serve me well as hopefully when I have the opportunity to climb Mount Everest, meaning looking after your people and realizing what the mission is and what you have to do to attain that mission.
2 years ago, Eric, returning from a mission, faced an unforeseen event that would change his life forever.
The helicopter that I was on and 10 of my men were on came in too low and too fast, struck the side of the ship with its right rear wheel. When the helicopter pilot applied power, it caused the helicopter to flip over and enter the Pacific Ocean. All my men and I were knocked unconscious. I woke up underwater. We're all wearing 50 to 75 pounds of gear, equipment, ammunition, and weapons. I was able to swim out through an opening and swim to the surface of the ocean. By this time, the helicopter sank, and that's when sort of the realization came in that, no, not everybody made it out of the helicopter. At that time, I decided that I would try and raise as much money as possible for a college education scholarship fund for my men who died and for their children.
1, 2.
How I would raise that money would be by competing in ultra-distance athletic events. I've been fortunate enough right now to have raised $60,000 for the college education of my men's children.
The river crossing under their belt, Manaslu sets a swift pace for themselves.
tell you what, the river was not warm. I think I fit into the role of a team in a lot of different ways. I think I can be a leader. I think I can be a follower.
Sam trains hard at home to maintain her passion for adventure.
I have lots of neat friends who are so supportive, and every time I come back from a trip or back from a race, they, want the full details and want to hear how it's going, and it makes it so much more fun for me. It's really neat to get to share it with people.
I definitely gravitate toward people who are risk takers and who aren't doing, the status quo, and because they have a passion about living, which is completely addictive.
These guys started third, they're already in the lead. The course must be brutal, it takes its toll. We saw a lot of people having problems, even at the bouldering problem. The river is much harder than expected. These guys are looking good here.
Meanwhile, an inevitable moment is unfolding at the transition area.
Guys, I'm going to bail. I don't trust myself getting back in the water.
You what?
I don't trust myself getting back in the water. The better part of safety for me is to
I think we can get you across. I don't know what...
I think, personally, I think that Jim's probably making a really good call.
The Toyota Inspirational Snapshot is brought to you by the all-new 4Runner.
The wiser thing for me to do.
Well, let us carry your number, and it's like you're still there. What do you think about that?
I'll be there in spirit.
All right.
It's the first time in 40 years that I've failed to finish an endurance event. And that's a personal disappointment for me.
Samantha's team's persistence never wavered throughout the course. They crossed the finish line first. Pavel the Banana Man, Petite Pinson, Jesse Rickard, and the rest of the team enter the finish exuberant. Reunited with his team, Jim Barry hopes for a brighter tomorrow.
They were great teammates, and I only wish that I was able to contribute more to it today. But perhaps I'll have my chance tomorrow and the next day.
Experts use four-wheel drive vehicles to ferry between the various venues. Hans Ray has a mountain biking excursion planned in preparation of the individual race. To get the participants in the mood, Mother Nature has provided an unfavorable change in the weather. The rain does little to dampen their spirits, and the participants attack the wet pavement. But the terrain soon becomes a bit more taxing.
I gotta get off this mud. I am having fun in the mud. There's no question about it.
Temperatures plummet as an early winter descends upon the riders. For some, the rain, snow, and mud becomes more than they can manage.
I just can't do this. I'm not technical at all. I don't know how to ride this. And they're not really stopping. I can't hear anything that they're saying. Just go on your lowest gear. I am on my lowest gear. Wake up, careful. Oh, Jesus. You okay? I can't get on. I'm just gonna fall again.
The weather-beaten mountain bikers go from trail navigation to simply staying upright and in control.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall.
Conditions provide the expert judges critical insight.
Well, we have to try to get to know these 50 participants, athletes, as good as we can, and we're actually going to see them in action.
You okay?
I'm okay.
The weather is a great element to add a little, see how people already act. Just now, an hour of miserable weather, and you can tell already a lot about them, If you want to go to Everest, you got to be able to ride through a little snowstorm.
The next challenge is a series of rock climbing trials. Station 1 is Brumley Rock, where expert Russell Bryce evaluates each athlete's aptitude and skills.
So do you rock climb much?
I usually climb indoors. I don't think I'm the one to say that I'm qualified. I think it's other people to decide that. I think I have what it takes to make it, and hopefully that comes through. Yeah, I'm fine.
She's determined, and I think in her life she's probably very determined with what she does, but really the technique's not there. So.
Standing at 29,035 feet, Mount Everest reigns supreme over the world's highest peaks. Months of hard work and preparation by climbers can amount to failure if sudden storms and fierce winds render the summit impervious. Back in Moab, plunging temperatures present winter conditions at the lower climbing station.
This is real alpine stuff now. Before I could see the valley on the other side, but everything's kind of obscured. It's a real tough test for the climbers, and by and large, they're doing really well.
I am like the far scope of safety. Just, I think coming from my background in fire and stuff, it's just pounded into your head and it's a way of life for me. So I'm like, by the rules, safety first. Once I got into the fire service, it was more the EMS side that I enjoyed. The fire service right now, at least in Southern California, is 75% medical, and I really like that part of it.
We're expecting warm, dry rock, and look what we've got. But that's part of the whole deal, and it's part of the path to Everest.
Yes,
so,
definitely. I'm not scared at all of the experiences that I might be. I can actually push myself beyond what, if my body's telling me to quit, I can actually push myself farther than that.
Will the thrills and spills of the mountain biking help determine the next round of elimination? Can Camille overcome her lack of climbing skills? When Global Extremes returns. With the climb over, the weather is once again spectacular. The participants have a final challenge, the individual endurance biathlon, an uphill mountain bike ride through the La Salle Range, followed by a trail run up and over a high mountain pass. Stationed on the course, the expert judges monitor performance.
Go!
It's evident right from the start who the more experienced riders are among the group. The battle of the Jessies emerges in the first half mile.
We were wondering to ourselves who was going to take the lead. I didn't think we were climbing that much. There weren't any, serious inclines. We passed everybody in the first group, and we just started riding together, and he said, hey, let's just work together and go at a decent pace.
As the riders gain elevation, the slick conditions from the previous day's storms make a difficult task even more arduous.
It's tough. Ain't no easy way up this. It's a bit mud in my bike.
That was not pretty mud.
The mud will soon make way for snow as the riders continue to chase the leader. Jesse Rickard shows no sign of letting up as he widens the gap from the pack. Upon reaching the transition area, the participants will abandon their bikes and set off on foot for the snow-covered mountain pass. Rickard is the first one in.
Where you going here, Rock?
He got ahead of me about, I would say, 100 yards in the bike, and transitioned a little bit quicker than me.
It's only halfway over. Woo, Jesse! It's less than halfway over.
Okay, let's see what do I have to do here.
Leader Jesse Rickard continues his climb towards the highest checkpoint. Those chasing him are impeded by the thinning air and struggle to maintain the fast pace. Ted Mann moves into second, while Jesse Haynes drops back.
I haven't done a whole lot with altitude. The things I have done are snowshoe racing, so I wasn't worried at all about the elevation. Elevation's a killer, boy, especially when you come from 1,400 feet.
The athletes approach the checkpoint at Miners Basin, the end of the four-wheel drive road. Expert Russell Bryce will get a look at their condition before they proceed into the thin air ahead.
I was a little concerned about the altitude because I live at sea level in Alaska, so I didn't want to push it too hard and burn myself out too early, so just kept a steady pace and had a really on day.
A lot more oxygen here than there's at Everest, I suppose.
Petite Pinson makes her home in Three Rivers, California, a small community just outside of Sequoia National Park.
Growing up here in Three Rivers, I don't think I ever really thought that I'd have that chance to get to Everest or to even try Everest. And all of a sudden, through a chain of events, here I am venturing off on this journey that just might get me there. And the journey is most of it. It's a spiritual, mental, and physical challenge that I'm looking forward to. You've only just begun, baby.
The The racers face a narrow trail up an 11,000-foot pass. The athletes have climbed more than 5,000 vertical feet from the start, giving the judges an impression of how well they will fare in the extreme elevation gains of Mount Everest.
The athlete in the lead, he left Russell's position about not even 20 minutes ago, and he's just cresting the hill here. Jesse.
What's happening?
I've always felt really good at altitude. I think a lot of altitude is just being prepared for it and going slow and acclimatizing properly, and I've always been able to do that.
I'm checked in.
As Jesse Rickert crests the pass and begins his downhill run for the finish, the others who trail him continue to trek through the fresh fallen snow. As leaders, their battle is more strenuous in that they must break trail, further draining valuable energy.
I'm gonna have to cross-check with these guys. Have you kept a consistent, even pace the whole way?
I'm basically just regulating based on heart rate and respiratory rate.
Okay, are you good on water?
Yep.
Okay, carry on.
The fresh powder trail now stands between these athletes and a coveted top finish. Natural athletic ability accentuates race leader Jesse Rickert's dedication and conditioning. He now sprints to the finish in an incredible display of strength and endurance.
All right, Jesse, nice job. You're looking pretty fresh still. Wasn't that hard?
Oh, it was hard.
Emerging from the snow, still in second place, is mountain man Ted Mann of Aspen, Colorado. Accustomed to the altitude, Ted would love the opportunity to make it to the next round in his own backyard. The next two racers are Jesse Haynes and Colleen Inken. Colleen has proven one of the strongest athletes among all the competitors in Moab. Colleen continues to chop away at Jesse's narrow lead, passing him near the finish.
All right, the first woman, Colleen Inken. Right on, you made it.
Woo! We had everything. Cold, snowy, but then after the snow ended, it was kind of hard on your ankles.
The bike was tough.
There's a lot of snow.
That grind up through the snow to the summit was pretty tough.
Oh, I wrecked hard in the snow. I think I pulled every muscle in my leg. When I stop moving, I'm done.
Fabulous course. I'm feeling pretty good, yeah.
The race is far from over for those still out on the course. Though no longer in contention for a top finish, these athletes simply refuse to relent.
He got cut off, and I'm going again. Not really a good day for Ginger.
What's going on?
A little injured.
Tell me about your day.
I don't know if I should tell you what's going on.
It's okay.
I have a stress fracture on my right foot.
I just climbed Mount McKinley, and that was my first mountain I'd ever climbed. And Mount McKinley taught me more about myself, I think, and how much I can push myself physically and mentally, and just, you know, how deep I really can go within myself to do something.
And I'm not letting this stop me. It's just a little pain.
You're all finished. How you doing? Huh? All right.
Good to be finished?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Your feet hurting? It's a tough event. Yeah.
But I made that cut time, and I wasn't stopping.
The moment of truth has arrived. The judges have made their decision of who will go on to the Rockies.
Drink young.
Erica
Petit Pinson.
Jesse Rickert.
Might add then during Ted Mann.
Oh, I'm reeling right now. I'm so excited.
This is a great opportunity for me.
I tried my hardest. I did my best.
So happy.
Excited. I'm going to be heading to Aspen. I'm looking forward to it.
Even those not advancing found the experience a success.
I was challenged probably more than I've ever been challenged before physically.
The next Global Extremes Challenge takes place in the Rocky Mountains surrounding Aspen, Colorado.
There's so many fit people out there, and that's where I start thinking about the mental strength.
The adventure athletes will perform a variety of mountaineering skills amidst the 14,000-foot peaks. The judges will be watching closely.
I want to get rid of him. I couldn't live at Everest with him.
As they reduce the field by half and send the final 12 around the world in pursuit of Mount Everest. Tune into ABC Sports on Saturday, April 19th, when Global Extremes travels to the Kalahari Desert in South Africa. 12 participants will take on intense sun, sand, and heat. The athletes also face the burden of sending one person home. Aspen, Colorado. This world-renowned ski mecca is the setting for our next series of events. Extravagance and luxury will be in short supply for the hardy athletes of Global Extremes. Their challenges lie amidst the foreboding peaks of the Elk Mountain Range. Aspen Highlands is the setting for the first Rocky Mountain Challenge. The 24 who survived Moab will participate in an uphill race, climbing over 1,500 feet to the finish line atop Highland Peak. The pack sets off at a sprint despite the 10,900-foot starting elevation. Judges will be watching for Moab rivalries to emerge.
I do know how to pace myself for sure, but I tend to mentally let myself go out a little bit too fast.
It's been one of the problems I've had in the past is the super fit athletes coming along and not being able to slow down when the weather's bad and getting frustrated and using a lot of nervous energy. So this is a big challenge for these athletes here as well.
Although swift out of the gate, the racer's pace dissipates as lungs and muscles gasp for precious oxygen. Assisting the expert judges in deciding who will make the cut is Everest mountain guide Chris Warner, who will lead the final 5 to the summit of Everest.
That was Jesse Haynes going by us. He's the first of the athletes to push up the hill. He looks great.
The athletes skirt a rock outcropping on this technical section of the course.
You know, at the end of the day, I guess the most important thing is, people speak well of you. Really all I can do is give 110%, and hopefully things will turn out my way.
Sam shows she can hang with the most robust men.
Never back down from anything. I've been in a lot of life-threatening situations in some of the sports that I've chosen to do, and I actually really do enjoy that edge that it presents.
I've been consumed with Global Extremes, and that's pretty much all I've been thinking about for the last few months and training for. So far, the people I know have been incredible. I feel like I'm in incredible company.
Expert judge Russell Bryce welcomes Jesse Haynes, the first racer to the summit.
Great.
The pervasive Pavel displays his exuberance at the top.
John!
Don't do that on Everest. The last that fell off. How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Hey, fellas, where you go?
All right. You good, Darren?
Nice job, boys.
Darren Wells finishes third.
How was it out there?
See you. Not too bad.
Feel the altitude?
This last little bit, yeah.
Eric Kapitulik is next, followed by Ted Mann and Jesse Rickard.
Sakanola.
All right, Ted.
The women of Global Extremes finish in strong succession, offering little reprieve for the evaluating judges.
Well done.
Thanks. Thanks.
We get your time recorded here.
Yeah.
These guys are motoring. Altitude doesn't seem to be a problem. Good spirits, good weather.
How you doing?
Good.
That's a nice little walk.
Yeah.
Good. Enjoyed that. Did you look at the view?
No.
Well, you got time up here.
Okay.
Did you bring your little palm up here?
Pardon me? Yeah, it's in my pocket.
I know I'm fit, but I feel like there's so many fit people out there, and that's where I start thinking about the mental strength and honestly feel that I'm very strong mentally.
Beautiful.
Did you ever look at the scenery on the
Oh man, yeah, it was humbling. I love that.
Nice view. Cool.
My strengths that I think that I'm bringing here to Aspen are my backcountry experience, my mountain climbing experience, mountaineering, and my endurance. I have a lot of endurance.
Local outfitter and owner of Aspen Expeditions, Dick Jackson, describes the next series of obstacles. Final preparations are made to ensure all skills tests are safely executed.
We have 3 stations that are off the top of the mountain here. I'm going to go over this side. Okay. Being a woman.
Happy. The more adventure, the better.
The parkour includes 4 mountaineering stations, including a zip line, a rappel, a Jumaring ascent, and self-arrest with an ice axe. The experts' eyes will be on the athletes and how well they perform these skills, all essential in climbing Mount Everest.
I mean, I think there are a lot of people here who have never used an ice axe.
If they're not clued up in that particular skill by the time they get there, then of course there are serious consequences.
Feet first! Feet first!
What happened down there?
I have 6 to 8 years of mountaineering and backcountry and snow camping and snow experience and somewhat altitude, and so far I feel comfortable there, and I like that challenge.
You need to think, I've got to step on the downhill side of it, you know? This is all the things that really, really make it frustrating on Everest.
Whatever happens this weekend, we should be able to deal with it.
Next, the athletes must endure an overnight traverse in below freezing temperatures. And is disparity mounting among the judges regarding the next round of elimination? The ski traverse is next on Global Extremes. Welcome back to Global Extremes. The historic Ashcroft Valley and the Pine Creek Cookhouse are the setting for the next leg of this expedition. During the final gear check before the 2-day backcountry ski traverse, Kathy Sasson and Hans Ray briefed the guides assigned to the teams.
Pretty clear who the top people are that have a great personality, all the things we're judging on cumulatively.
The guides' insight and analysis is crucial in determining who will go on.
The isolated incidents, and that's when they lost, when they really cold.
We start with Team McKinley. 3, 2.
The expert judges have named the teams after the highest peaks on each continent.
1, go! Kilimanjaro, let's go! Good luck!
Departing the Ashcroft ski touring area, the course ascends Express Creek Road. The teams will travel more than 7 miles towards Richmond Ridge with an elevation gain of more than 2,000 feet, reaching their high camp near Goodwin Green Hut. Several crucial events begin to unfold as Team Aconcagua passes Karsten's Pyramid. Ron Dubois is suffering from the flu.
I'm setting pace because that's probably the slowest right now, so let everybody know that about my team. Got a real strong team, and this is just obviously pretty unfortunate.
The problem is that right now, any sort of food he throws up.
You know, if somebody would have asked me a year ago, do you want to do Everest? I'd be like, oh God, it's, kind of miserable, I'll suffer, it doesn't really sound that much fun. But it's a whole different ballgame when somebody kind of puts it out, dangles it out in front of you.
The road drops back down here. It's not really crossing contours, but
we're staying on the high side of the drainage here. We're actually going to bump smack into it.
You must have some strategies in place for the next couple of days. What can you tell me about it?
Really important to just stick together, and like you said, it's 2 days, so we don't need to go out crazy and burn ourselves up in the first 2 hours.
Now it's just kind of an uphill slog for a ways, so we'll just probably pick a good pace that works for everybody. There's a lot of judging factors. I know it's more than just athletic ability, but I think if it was based on just athletic ability, I think I would be in the top 50%. And so I know it's also based on teamwork and a lot of other things. So I think I have a really good chance because I've always been good working with teams and groups and other people.
Pretty early up, I noticed that there's quite a division. Not too much discussion about strategy and tactics. They're kind of going in 2 teams of 2 rather than 1 of 4.
Are we supposed to go past there, or are we supposed to actually go to Markley Hut?
Well, to get to the valley, the easiest thing is to go to Markley and up. I mean, I've skied that valley.
Upon reaching Richmond Ridge, the teams climb over 11,000 feet in elevation. This portion of the trek to high camp is relatively flat, offering weary skiers relief. The first teams enjoy some pristine powder as they reach the high camp.
Hi there, Jess. How you doing? Doing great.
Team Kilimanjaro is safely arriving to the destination.
Hit say from left to right, said Angola. Team Vincent got the power. We said it, we meant it, we're here to represent it.
Silence replaces singing as the sun drops and a chill descends upon the teams. Others begin preparations for high mountain cuisine. The guides debrief the experts in a nearby cabin.
People are up here, and then there's this whole area of, it's really hard to decide.
Pavel is, I think, a very capable person. He always has to talk first.
He's constantly seeking approval, and part of that is, it means that he's pulling away opportunities for other people. And in the process of doing that, he's really irritating the living nonsense out of those people.
I'd have to say that Eric stood out.
Yeah.
Which one to go to Everest? Today, I would pick.
Deliberating continues well into the night. Meanwhile, the teams try to stomach their culinary creations.
Doesn't that look good?
You want some of this?
If you put beef jerky in water, it would stay beef jerky. This you put into water and it turns into a sponge.
Oh, you know what? There's no beef in there. Sorry. I just found that.
Not the greatest day for me out on the trail, but all my teammates chipped in. We got a really strong team.
I got a bit of a blister. My right foot's smaller than my left foot. So I'm just gonna, moleskin it and duct tape it.
You might be the first U.S. Marine Corps captain to have a cup of Jai Wang Yi.
And probably the last.
The early morning departure simulates a summit day bid on Everest. In order to reach the summit and return safely, climbers leave the highest camp as early as 3 a.m.
This may well become a scene to reminisce over for those final 5 that make it to Mount Everest. I dare say that at some stage they'll witness a trail of headlights stomping up a steep hill.
Day 2's 12-mile traverse continues along Richmond Ridge via the Barnard Hut. Then they head towards the finish line atop Aspen Mountain, but the course still contains unforeseen challenges.
You guys came here. My mate's buried.
How many?
My mate is buried.
How many?
How
many buried? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Just my mate.
The teams must work diligently in performing a simulated life-saving drill.
Go ahead.
Where's your buddy at?
I got a reading. This way.
Stick it up.
Bingo.
Got it. All right, we got him.
Upon finding the avalanche beacon, the teams must next prepare a rescue sled for an emergency evacuation.
Take a spin.
You secure the leg. We'll search for the...
Put that extra bar slots.
No.
They must work in unison to save the incapacitated victim.
Under there. Okay.
And there's over back.
I feel like they got me, though.
To complete the drill, the teams must then make their way to the intended checkpoint. The Sun Deck restaurant atop Aspen Mountain marks the finish of the 2-day traverse. 4-wheel drives are used to reach the 11,212-foot summit of Aspen Mountain so that experts and film crew can support the athletes during this adventure and their around-the-world quest of Mount Everest. Samantha and Team McKinley are the first team across. Teams Aconcagua and Vinson tie for second. Pavel and Kilimanjaro cross the finish fourth. And despite Ron's condition, Karsten's Pyramid comes in fifth. As guides report to expert judges, the athletes voice their thoughts on the excursion.
I think we were strong not only fitness-wise, but as working as a team.
I headed out to do a hasty search, and I ended up following. I was like, what's going on? What is this beacon broken? What's going on? And I realized that I was following our cameraman around because he was still on transmit.
I don't know. What was the hardest part?
The last couple miles, not like physically hard, but it's just like
got a little
you're ready to be there.
right there.
You're ready to be there. You're in the trees. Yep. Is it over this hill?
We had a traditional distribution of labor. The ladies took care of the kitchen. We built the house.
I don't think I could handle Pavel on a 2-month expedition.
I mean, I can deal with his, obnoxious kind of out there behavior, but I don't like that he kind of goes off in his own direction sometimes.
We all snuggled together last night in a tent. Worked out well. They didn't treat me any differently. They treated me like a teammate.
If we can sleep out in the cold last night like that, I can't imagine Africa's going to be, it sounds like a piece of cake, actually.
The expert judges now face the daunting task of determining which 12 will go on.
Wilfred, I say, is out.
Yeah.
He's way behind. He's not a team player. He's not really there, I don't think.
Ted's in.
I like Ted. I mean,
I had Ted on my in list.
He's real strong.
Oh, I mean,
He's controversial.
Yeah.
Is that his personality? Is that genuine, or is it for show?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he's really loud. I mean, I get really annoyed with this guy.
He was
entertaining,
entertaining, but now he's very lively. He's grating on me.
I want to get rid of him. If I couldn't live at Everest with him
for 3 months,
I would go totally nuts with him. There you go.
With Petite, I have her with a question mark.
I think she'd be brilliant at base camp.
Yeah, me too.
But she'd be brilliant for morale.
I think she should be in.
I think she should be in to be able to have the experience.
She did
and let's
fairly
see what
good in
happens.
Moab, I have to say.
Colleen has been on my top list the whole time. She's been solid and strong, quiet leader.
She's been one of the strongest women, you know, from the outset, from the early days in Moab, and she's still performing well. Congratulations to those who move on, and my condolences to those who will be going home.
Who's it going to be?
Who will make the cut? The announcement of the Global Extremes finalists when we return. Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure on ABC Sports. Brought to you by the all-new Forerunner. Larger, more powerful, more capable. Yahoo Sports, the official internet partner of Global Extremes. And Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh.
So, with no further ado, we need to name the final 12 that will move on from here. So congratulations to those who move on, and my condolences to those who will be going home. Number 42, Ted Mann. Number 22, Jesse Haynes. Number 19, Petite Pinson.
21, Troy Henkel. 46, Andy Cora. 45, Trent Young.
Number 9, Colleen Inkin. Number 26, Jesse Rickert. Number 54, Sam Gehring.
Number 13, Eric Capital. Number 31, Darren Wells. Number 12, Hamza.
For you guys who didn't get chosen, you guys tried so hard, it's your dream. It was taken away from you for things that you might have had no control.